So let's talk about the heart today. We're going to do some yoga asanas after we build awareness of where the heart is sitting between our lungs and use the lungs. So if this is our heart residing here and my fingers are my lungs, the lungs caress, slide back and forth, and the heart moves a bit, not quite this much, a mini movement, but the lungs are not static. Sometimes the lungs will go under and cradle or above and cradle, depending on how we move our torso. So let's just get into it, and I will explain, and look for your heart during this mini yoga lesson. We're just going to start out just imagining our lungs, the upper, mid, and lower lung, and the heart residing slightly to the left in a pocket, okay? And the pocket is fluid, the heart is fluid. The back of the heart is where the pulmonary veins and arteries, all the important stuff that gets to the lungs and back are located, okay? And the first thing that the lungs feed is the brain, and the second, the bone marrow. Okay, so we're gonna give our brain some high tests right now. So let's just start out on our back with the knees bent. Okay, I'll use the ball as the heart model and find the heart floating here. Okay, floating, and the lungs just kind of resting like soft wings around the heart. Okay, the lungs love the heart. And just locate your heart and the lungs. And now windshield wiper your shins from side to side. And feel the heart move from kind of touching and being caressed by the right lung and then the left lung. Okay? And that movement of the heart. And at the same time, a pillow of air behind the heart. So the heart is not jamming down, the heart is not being forced up, but it's sloshing. So this is a very fluid movement. Okay? And then roll over to your right side, feel the heart roll into the right lung, and then pull yourself up. Okay? And we're gonna go to tabletop. And what happens to the heart here? Well, the lungs come around the heart and hug the heart, okay? So feel the lungs drop down and caress your heart. And then just move from side to side, like a piece of summer seaweed in the sea. And let the heart move towards the right lung, left lung. And this is a very fluid movement, not a robotic movement. Okay? And then push back. And come forward. Keeping your focus on the heart, between the lungs. What's going on with your heart? And then come down on your belly. Put your elbows down, hands down. Retain the pocket of air behind the heart. And find the position of the heart here. Are the lungs cradling the bottom of your heart? And then push back. Come into tabletop again. Move your hands forward. We'll do downward puppy. Let the heart float towards the upper lungs, and the lobes of the lung caress the heart. We're having a very relaxing class today. And then let's come to a kneeling position. So the heart is here, and we're going to put a pillow of air in our lungs behind the heart, and let the doors in front of the heart, the lungs, open. Okay. Don't push it, just gentle, gentle. Focus on your heart. And then let's sit down. You can sit on your heels, sit cross-legged, and we're going to just lift our arms with our heart. So this is the robotic way, I'm all in line, okay? But we're going to lift our arms with our heart today, like fluid, like seaweed arms. So lift your arm, right arm, the action coming from here. There's no right way, so you can bend your elbow if you like, but lift, send the heart energy to the hand and back to the heart. You don't have to coordinate your breathing, and don't even think too hard about it. Okay, we're letting go of the prefrontal cortex here, okay? That prefrontal would say lift, drop, lift, drop. We're just moving the heart to the arm and then left arm. It's summertime, seaweed in the ocean. Lift and drop and lift and dropped. And one more time. Lift and drop and come back up on your knees. The same pose we did before with the blanket or the pillow of air behind the heart, letting the lobes of the lung open, and let's just send some seaweed heart energy out into the arms. And if this is too much, don't move your arms, or you can move your arms like this. Okay. From the heart, not from the shoulder, from the heart, wherever it takes you. And then come back to tabletop. And swoosh your heart around. And we're going to come up into down dog. Okay? So curl the toes. And come on up. And we're going to do a seaweed down dog. So you can bend your knees, bend your elbows, just move around. And keep your focus on your heart. So don't worry about getting your heels down. Just move the heart around in this down dog position. Whatever groove you want to make, just find it and be fluid, letting the heart lead the movement, lead the pulse. And then come down, get your block. We're going to rest a moment, put the third eye on the block, and rest. When you're ready, lift up from the heart. Okay, we're going to move our feet forward. Okay, if you have some people may need to put a blanket underneath their hips. If you have a belt, you can use a belt, or you could just bend forward. Okay, so bending forward, you can bend your knees in today, no problem. Keeping a pillow of breath behind the heart and letting the lobes of the lung come forward around the heart in a pulsing action as you bend forward. Very gentle, very watery, very heart-centered. It's good to have a practice that is very gentle like this and intersperse it with your regular yoga practices. And finally, we will just be on our backs. Using the heart to lift the arms over the head, arms down. And you can even wiggle your feet a bit. I'm making my arms into a circle, pulsing my feet, moving from the heart. And then rolling the heart to the left, coming up, sitting cross-legged, and just finding the heart. Smiling into the heart. And now for people who are sitting in the chair, let's do a little chair yoga for the chair people. And let's just start with, again, being aware of the heart and the lungs, having the capability to cradle and hold the heart. Okay? And when you move your knees, the heart moves into the right and left lobes of the lung. So what happens so often when we age is things get all stiff and gluey. So we're inviting the whole heart-lung orchestra to juice up a little bit. Okay, and now let's lift our arm, not lift our arm, but let the heart lift the right arm and float down. And the heart lifts the arm and floats down and up from here and down and up like seaweed. And let's do the left arm. Being aware that the pulse and movement is coming from the center. And we're not using muscles, we're using the pulse of the heart. Okay, and then holding the back of the chair, bow your heart down towards the earth. And the lungs slide in front of the heart and kind of caress them like a baby. Not them, caress the heart like a baby. And then come on up, the lungs open a bit, the heart drops a bit, and come back down. And come back up. And let's go back now. So you can hold your chair, keeping a pillow of breath in the back lungs that the back of the heart is resting on. Open the lungs, let the heart pop up. It'll pop up and move towards the upper lobe a bit. No stress. If it's sideways, it looks like so. And you can even bob a little if you feel a pulse of the heartbeat. And come back to normal. So we bowed and dropped the heart towards the earth. And again, we're going to lift the heart towards heaven, putting it on a pillow of breath here. And letting the heart slide up a bit and the lobe to open. Heart is still being cradled by the lung. And if you like to pulse gently, and then let's just take our hands and squeeze and release very like our wings here, the tips of the wings. And then send your wings from side to side, not moving from the elbow or wrist, but moving from here. I could move from my elbow, okay, or I could move from my heart. There is a difference, and you can do that too. So move from the heart, letting the heart move from the right to the left. If you want to lift your arms, lift your arms. Okay. And then roll the shoulders back. Feel the lungs come forward and then back. And remember the butterfly swimming move from the heart. I can move from my hands, okay, and my shoulders, or I can move from my heart, and you can do the same, okay? Okay, and let's just drop the arms, and let's take the belt, okay? And we're not going to ride the chariot today, but we're going to stretch our feet out, if possible, okay? Put a pillow of breath behind your heart, and then come forward, letting the lungs close, maybe like a sliding door around the front of the heart. You don't have to go far. And then the doors open a bit, and then the doors close a bit. So move from the heart, don't move from the shoulder. This is moving from the shoulder. Move from the heart. Okay. I'll show you sideways. So if you're moving from the shoulders, you'll feel something like that, but you're moving from the heart. You may not move far, okay? But what's we're going after today is heart-centered movement. And now let's just wiggle the feet and let the feet pull the hands a little bit. And how does that pulse that's going on in your hand and feet, can you send a circuit of energy back to the heart? It's just a loop from the legs to the heart, the hands to the heart, and then send some of that juice up into your brain and back to the heart. Okay. Well, that was the mini lesson for today. First on the floor and then on the chair. And we'll continue to work with heart-centered movement and yoga poses on Thursday. If you can have 2 pairs of socks bundled up, we can do some squeezing. Okay? So, see you on Thursday.